Hi, I'm Dr. Harry, CEO of the Wheatbelt Health Network. We've been funded through the ILC grants to produce a program called Disability Inclusion in Schools and Communities. Now, as part of that, we have the Leaders Series interviews. These are interviews with people with a disability who've made it to a leadership position. It explores their challenges, their journeys, and the sorts of things that they might see which might produce a more inclusive community. Sit back and enjoy. Here are their stories.
I had a sore back ever since I was sort of a teenager. You know, went to the physios, all sorts of stuff. Sort of didn't let it worry me too much, but once I had kids, things really started just falling to bits. I've had 31 surgeries now, and 20 of those would be since I had kids. Really, I've had surgery on my hips, my knees, my shoulders, my elbows, every joint really. But you see all different doctors and surgeons, and sort of everyone treats everything individually, and I was going, this just doesn't seem right. If I was on Grey's Anatomy, we would have a big team meeting and everyone would go, this just seems a bit odd that this healthy sort of person is having all these issues. So then I started seeing a rheumatologist and trying to find out, you know, different arthritis things, or if it was autoimmune thing, but it's just basically arthritis, mostly just through my whole spine and neck and stuff. You know, they wanted me to have a spinal fusion and a neck laminectomy done in my neck and stuff, but I just sort of said I was sick of having surgery. I had pulmonary embolism. I got carted off. I had a run of things. I sort of had went down the ambulance from here. They thought I'd had a stroke when one of my kids was little. And then a couple of years later I had pulmonary embolism, and then I went down. They thought I was having heart problems, and then went down again with bad vertigo, and I sort of kept going, I think all these things are, you know, something you know, connected with them all, but it was really hard to get something done. Anyway, I said I'm sick of having surgery, I'm sick of getting things fixed, and of course there's the risk of more pulmonary embolism. And I'd been riding and competing, but it was just, I couldn't move up the grades. You know, there's all different levels in dressage, and I just couldn't get my body doing some of the stuff that I needed, so I just kept sitting in the same grade all the time and wasn't really moving up. It sort of came to my attention about Para Equestrian, and I was quite hesitant at first because you know, when you think of Para Equestrian, you think of people in wheelchairs. Yep. You think of, you know, the Blade Runner guy, or and I never realised that there's different grades of Para Equestrian. Grade 1 being the most affected people, and grade 5 being the least affected. So I'm currently in grade 5, but just on the fringe of grade 4. So people who are classified by international classifiers come, they get all your medical stuff, they give you a big physical stuff, and they put you into these categories so that people with a similar level of ability competing against other people of a similar level, trying to even it out a bit. And you're allowed to, when, I can compete with able-bodied riders, but I have exceptions that I'm allowed to do in my riding sit trot, which it's hard to explain, but I don't need to do that. I'm allowed to use 2 whips. I can have bands on my stirrups holding my feet into my thing, because I'm quite good when I'm just regularly walking around, although I limp a little bit. But when I ride, because of all the arthritis and degenerative changes in my back, and I've got a few little fractures and stuff, and the nerve damage, I lose the feeling in my legs and in my arms and hands and stuff. So, people see me getting on and go, there's nothing wrong with that girl, what's she on about? And then when I get off, I was at the Royal Show last year, and people had to literally chairlift carry me back to the stables because I had no feeling left in my legs, and I sort of just landed in the dirt and got carried away, sort of thing. So, and then it would take me 20 minutes moving around, and I sort of come back good again. So, but yeah, I have had trouble with a bit of stigma with not being disabled enough.
Yes.
In my sport. So it's, I do feel a bit hesitant when I say it. I feel like people are going, what are you doing? You're taking, and I think people think that I am then competing against someone who's in a wheelchair, which I'm not.
Yes.
So yeah, and I guess I didn't realise that either until I was in a. You don't know until you're there doing it as well.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's the big thing about disabilities is that it's not often obvious.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not often a visual thing.
Yeah, exactly. And and with it all, I have just chronic fatigue all the time because you're just exhausted from, and I look quite regular walking around, but if you put me walking through sand or grass, I can't get upstairs. I can't get on and off my horses. I have to use a ladder thing to sort of get on and off them. My arms are quite good if they're close to my body, but holding them away, they get quite weak and shaky. And people, I think, just don't really see, they don't see your everyday stuff. And because you're used to it, you work around it, so it's not like you're showing it as much.
Yeah, sure.
Because it looks like you're not doing anything, but and as I say to my husband, that you get on. And when I go to doctors too and have surgery, and they go, oh, do you do any exercise? And I go, horse ride. Oh, do you do anything actually? And I go, you come out and get on my horse. It's not being led around in a pony ride is nothing. You get on that horse and make him jig around on do exactly as you say. That is hard work. People always say muscles I didn't know I had. It is hard work, and the better a rider someone is, the easier it looks when you're watching it going, oh, but, trying to get my horses weigh 760 kilos. You try and get a 760 kilo horse and go, here, just do what I want you to do for an hour. It takes a lot of work. So I think it's like anything that's worth striving for or having. There's always setbacks in anything, and you fall down, you have a little cry, but it's up to you to get up and just keep going. And whether it's something competitive or just anything you want to do, even even with my depression, that in the end it comes down to you deciding yourself and going, what, I want this. No one can do anything for you but yourself, really, and it's up to yourself. And it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks or how you envision seeing yourself. It comes down to you. And at the end of the day, when it's your turn to go, you're going to remember the things that you did, and regret the things that you didn't. Sometimes you only get one go, and I think that's what I hope my kids see as well, that if you want something, you just got to go for it. And if you've got problems, work out how can I get around it, who can I see, who can I find that can help me get to where I want to go. And there's nothing's ever a straightforward easy line. It's always harder than what you think it is. Nobody, even people you see, stars or whatever, you think that they've had setback. You only see the glossy bits. It's Facebook Facebook world where you see all the glossy, you know, I'm not putting any photos on Facebook of me looking terrible or, you know, lying in bed at lunchtime going, oh my God, my life's terrible. You know, you're showing and I think in some ways that makes it harder for people to remember that everyone's got a struggle going on. But yeah, you just got to pick yourself up and keep going, because in the end you're the only one who's going to be missing out. So yeah, got to go for it. I think particularly after I had kids is when I thought I just got to keep going. You know, it's like, you know, I've lost friends to suicide, and of course my brother with heart disease and stuff, and I just think if you give up, you just don't know what might have happened if you just kept going. So I have, you know, this conflict of feeling bad that I'm off, all my kids are away at boarding school, so it's actually, you know, a bit easier for me to spend more time traveling and stuff now. But you think the money you're spending and, you know, sometimes missing their things, you feel bad. But then I think, but then I'm showing the kids, if you want something, you just keep going. And when I have setbacks like with my foot, or, you know, people saying something to me, you just go, you know, fall down, have a cry, shake it off and keep going, because you just don't know. And I sort of think, even with this, you know, trying to aim for Paralympics, you know, you sort of go, oh, everything's gone wrong, and you know, I lost 6 months I had a foot injury and surgery. You think, oh well, but you just think you need to keep going, because I don't know, in 2 years I might be worse off, or, you know, I could have a heart attack, or who knows what's going to happen. So the only thing I know is right this minute, so just keep going at it now, and just, you know, even people can't see the inside of what's happening in your life, but you know, it really only matters what I'm doing and what I think I'm doing okay. I'm nice to people and trying my best, so you just got to keep going.
Thank you. So seize the day.
Yeah.
And get back on the horse.
Yeah, exactly, literally.
Yeah.